Hello, friends, and welcome back to the penultimate war of Season 9. We're holding steady in Platinum 3, about halfway through the bracket there. Today we're taking on somebody from somewhere who are currently in Gold 1. So let's not screw this one up, alright? Alright, we're going Void Blade Omega Red today. We have a Morningstar mini boss on the buffet node. So I need Blade, but I don't need Ghost Rider, and I don't need Dormammu, because she is a dimensional being. As I mentioned last video, I am home for a month, so I'm taking Path 9 in the first section, and I start off this war by missing a parry on the first kiss and taking a combo to the face, so right away I'm down 10% on my primary attacker, which is exactly where you want to be. But, whatever. This is, I'm not really used to taking 9 in Tier 1 here. I think this is the Special Lock 1 node. So I can't remember if I got to a Special 1 and just sat there with it for a while just to heal up a bit from that combo. Looks like I was not that smart and I continued to just throw my Special 1. So this is, I believe, an R4 Magneto, so somebody must have used their 2015 gem from one of the variants on him in order to rank him up as a sort of okay defender, I guess. Other than that, not much going on. When I'm playing and questing against Magneto, I will usually do a technique that punishes S1. But in war, I am way too wary of getting parried, so I really won't even screw around with it. If I have infinite parries on whatever node I'm on, I will just use them. And that's pretty much it for Tier 1. So getting into the rest of the path. So I actually fought a Morningstar on the same node in the same number war last season. And I remember agonizing over it, trying to calculate bleed damage with willpower. Should I redo my masteries and get coagulate or suture or something? And at the end of the day, the willpower doesn't heal you up completely from it, but it mitigates a lot of the bleed damage. I also think that was a 455 Morningstar last season. This being a max 5-star, the bleeding is a little bit more powerful. So you can see it's ticking for about 350, and I'm healing for only about 118. So as long as I don't miss like I did just there and take a couple hits, I should be okay. Morningstar is bleed immune, so really my damage here is almost completely reliant on danger sense. So I have to be careful, if I can, not to trigger Buffet on Dex on her special attacks. As long as she's cooperating, which she seems to be, it should be okay. If I have to bait out the special attacks, then it's going to be a problem. So fortunately, you can Dex out of her S1 without triggering the buff, which is great. And then from here, it's just a matter of not getting hit. This is the only fight that I need Blade for, so as long as I survive, get that full attack bonus, it'll be okay. I'd rather not push her to her S2, and since this node doesn't have double power gain, I don't really have to worry about it. I can play a little bit more conservatively. I don't have to play too aggressive and worry about dodging that. So the other thing with the S2 is that it's guaranteed to trigger your buffet, because there's no way to evade it without without triggering dexterity. So a couple more S2s here should do it. S2 here does a lot more damage. The S1 primarily is for bleed damage, so that's not going to work since Morningstar is bleed immune. A little bit of a nail biter here. Pull off an intercept for the killing blow at the end there. Down she goes. Good work, Blade. Now ride the pine to the end of the fight, to the end of the war. All right, we have shocker. We have an Ironman on this node. I remember a couple seasons ago when I had absolutely no idea how to fight Iron Man Infinity Wars in war. And now this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 7th time in 11 wars that I have fought him on this node. And it's pretty much like riding a bike, I think, at this point. The block damage sucks. It's a bit dependent on the AI. If he sometimes he wants to throw his heavies right away. Other times he does full 5 or 6 hit combos into your block, backs off, does another couple hits into your block before he wants to throw a heavy. So the amount of block damage you take in this fight is really RNG dependent, like so many other things are in this game. I got the individual debuffs up pretty quickly, so maximum degen going right now. Other than that, it's just parry heavy, repeat. The parries aren't going to stun him, but it does further decrease the damage. That's why I do it. I know that it's not going to stun him. And then, sometimes I'll throw my S3 at the end of the fights, but if he's got any of the stacks of armor up, or if he's got some of his molecular armor up, you don't really want to do that because it'll mitigate a lot of the damage from the S3. Alright, so we procced Fear of the Void, finally. So it's pretty much over at this point. He's not going to get any power gain, so I won't have to worry about dodging a bunch of additional specials. I don't remember what I started out this fight at health-wise. I think it was pretty close to, what was it, 85, 90% after Magneto, so a little bit of chip damage there, but I come out on the other side. I am going to have to heal up for this, however. This is a 455 Korg. I haven't faced a Korg on this node since like the second war of the season. I don't remember if that one was a 565. I think it was. 565 Sig 200 then. So this one's a little bit easier. So just top off Void, a couple L4s, a couple L3s. And I think I consider doing a boost here. The power boost is not going to give me much because his rock stacks are going to prevent the buffs from sticking right away. So I opt to just go in with just the boost that I have. Now on I think I've talked about this before. On a lower Sig Korg, I will just parry and gamble that my parries are going to stick. I think at Sig 200, the parries are going to fail. Oh man, what is it, like 60 or 70% of the time? They're going to fail. It's pretty high. Maybe it's high as 80. I can't remember exactly. So on a high Sig Korg, you might not want to do that because you're just prolonging the amount of rock stacks and then essentially giving yourself more hits to take potential Thorns damage from. But the alternative to that is to just take blocked hits until he decides to throw his heavy. So really you're kind of, it's pick your poison either way. Usually I just like to play these fights more or less straight up. I will kind of ignore the Thorns damage because it's only one hit per combo. I don't like doing just 4 lights. It throws my rhythm off. I've tried it in some duels to try and avoid the Thorns damage completely, but it doesn't really work for me. I'm also not very good at the shallow intercept with Korg. I can do it with Domino pretty good nowadays, but just a different way of fighting, I guess. So he goes down, a little bit of Thorns damage there, but didn't take a hit. Much better place for me fighting Korgs than I was a season or 2 ago, where I was just getting my butt whooped. And then as a nice little palate cleanser here to round off my my run here, we have a duped Green Goblin mini boss on, what is this, Recovery Strike Back. I think this was later at night and I was pretty tired, so I didn't want to fool around with dodging the S2, because if you miss, you're going to take a buttload of damage. So I made a strategic choice here to just try and bait the S1. Just take the block damage from the lasers. It's not going to be that big of a deal. He's degenning while I'm baiting him out anyways. You can see, he's healing up a bit from willpower thanks to the the debuffs, but as soon as I get a Petrifier up, that's going to be over. Other than that, so here, yeah, so I get the Power Stings or Dark Stings on him because that'll push him over just 1 bar of power. He throws his S1 immediately, so I get the 2 degen buffs. So I get the extra double degens. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, technically 5 sources of degen on him right now. So this fight is going to be over pretty quickly. I like using Voids S2 in certain situations. Normally you want to get to Fear the Void as quickly as possible. But in some fights where that may not always be possible, it's not always inadvisable to use your S1 all the time. You might want to use your S2 sometimes too. So, and if you're going for that, so there I was just talking a minute ago about not taking an S2, and I took an S2 to the face, but it's okay because it was the end of the fight, and he goes down. So that's it for me, and look at that, we actually won a war. Amazing. So that brings our record up to 4-7. With 1 war left in the season, it feels like we will be locked into Platinum 3. I don't think we'll drop 100 or so spots, even with a loss next war. So I'm expecting to end up in Platinum 3. That's where we've been the last, 2 or 3 seasons. And then that'll be it. So until next time, thanks for watching.